The Vault on Galaxy Radio.
Check it out.
Hard-hitting, exciting, entertaining conversations with DJ Nyams.
It's 15:08 right on Great Station. So unfortunately, I had a guest was supposed to come through, but unfortunately, for some reasons, they're not able to join this afternoon. But anyway, the show continues. So it's a segment that we call The Vault. So what I'm going to do on The Vault today, we're going to look at the situation currently in the motherland. We're going to look at the current situation in Zimbabwe. Mamma mia, too many reports, too many articles. And I'm going to try and give you my two senses, my views, my opinions on some of these current situations, yeah. But before that, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to play you a song clip courtesy of SABC. So I'm going to play you a sound bite courtesy of SABC, and they will take us to our conversation for today. Then I will try and dissect it, I'll try to give you my two senses, my two opinions, what I've been gathering around from different people, groups, sources, and everything. That's what we're going to look on the Vault today. Then look at one or two other international stories happening. Otherwise, it's a good afternoon. So let's play this soundbite, courtesy of SABC. Then we start our conversation from there. Good afternoon.
We begin here at the South. Zimbabwe police have arrested Namatai Kwekweza, Samuel Gwenzi and Vusumzi Moyo, as well as Robinson Chere. They've been charged with disorderly conduct in a public place after their arrest and detention at the Robert Mugabe International Airport. Let's now get more details, and we speak to SABC News International Editor Sophie Mukwena, who joins us live in studio. Sophie, thank you so much for your time. Have we been able to establish a bit more information on why they were arrested and where?
Well, we've just received a document, a charge sheet. The allegations are that on the 27th of July, there was a group of people who gathered outside court when the 78 so-called members of SADC appeared in court in Harare. And as you know, that when people are appearing in court and that issue is related to either labor or politics, you'll always find people protesting, either the supporters of that organization or perhaps activists, if they feel that it's violation of human rights. As people were saying that the arrest of those people was violation of human rights because in Zimbabwe protests are allowed. And therefore, when they were outside protesting in relation to the 78 who were appearing in court, they were chanting slogans in support of SADC and also hoisting placards with abusive language. And many were arrested, and the 4 fled the scene. And then they were arrested this week. Apparently, they were traveling to Vic Falls, and therefore they were abducted out at the airport. And then today they appeared in court, as you can see them. And we are told that after that arrest, they were harassed. Some of them were tortured, and videos and pictures doing the rounds on social media in relation to the torture of one of those people who were arrested. We are told that they are part of the movement, the pro-democracy movement in Zimbabwe, but I think the law enforcement agencies want to link them with politics in that country. And as you pointed out, this is happening at a time where Zimbabwe is going to host the SADC meeting, and Zimbabwe is the incoming chair of the SADC meeting. And many people, when it was announced in Angola that the incoming chair will be Zimbabwe, many people raised concerns because there are outstanding issues in relation to Zimbabwe. You know that after elections, that damning report from the observers or the observer mission of SADC, unfortunately, heads of state and government didn't adopt or reject that report. So the issue of the outcome of elections is still a thorny one to some people in Zimbabwe, and I think that is why you see this current situation.
And these activists, I mean, they're quite known for their work. You think about Namatai, for example, who is a human rights defender. Yes, that is why I'm saying, much as it looks like the charge sheet is saying that they were chanting CCC slogans and abusive language. We don't have those placards, we don't have the sound or the visuals where they were chanting. They are trying to link them with politics, but we also know that, as you pointed out, that she is a human rights activist. She has been awarded some awards around the world, particularly the Kofi Annan Award. The second issue is now the latest is that it looks like this afternoon there are more arrests in Zimbabwe. That would include Jacob Ngaruvume. You know that he did spend some time in prison when he was arrested. There were reports that also Job Sikala, but I spoke to somebody or the colleague in Zimbabwe. At this moment, there's no confirmation of the arrest of Job Sikala. Earlier on this morning, I received a statement from Job Sikala and Ngaruvume this morning. They were distancing themselves in terms of any plans to destabilize or to cause harm in Zimbabwe ahead of the SADC meeting, because this clamped down, people are saying maybe there's fear that you will see protests and people speaking out ahead of the summit or during the summit, when you have the eyes of the continent, particularly of the region, on Zimbabwe, as Zimbabwe is expected to take over as the chair of SADC, and that will end next year in the same month. And therefore, this whole year from almost 12 months from August now until next year, President Emerson Mnangagwa will be the chair of SADC, and people were raising questions. And that would include the tension between Zimbabwe and Zambia. You know that recently we heard that Zambia had to lodge a complaint within the SADC organization that there seems to be tension between the two countries based on the utterances of President Mnangagwa when he visited Russia some few weeks ago. Sophie, your finger always on the pulse. Thank you so much for updating us there. And as you say, there's a lot of questions ahead of that SADC summit. And again, looking at that report that was never adopted, but now these particular developments certainly will get a number of these heads of state talking, and even some activists in their countries as well. So let's see what happens. But thank you so much for that update there. That's SABC News International editor Sophie Mokoena. And of course, this is against the backdrop of these arrests of these activists in Zimbabwe. We'll continue to keep you updated on this particular story.
So this week alone, I've seen a lot of messages flying. And yeah, even today, you know, there's reportedly a heavy presence of the army and the police in the streets in Zimbabwe, everywhere, ahead of the SADC summit, you know, which is happening this week, but the main summit on Saturday, where the 16 head of states are going to be meeting for a day's summit in Harare. At first, it was being said to run on the 17th and 18th, but now it's only running on the 17th. Right, so there's a heavy presence of police, and there's also the issue of demonstrations. But it's also, we've got over 121 activists who are currently behind bars. The question that to ask is issues of human rights, right? All these guys who've been arrested, when you try and do a research, none of them have called for a demonstration. None of them have asked people to protest. But I think it is just the fear of the government to say, protest might erupt. But then again, how do you address the issue of the Constitution? What does the Constitution say? The Constitution gives citizens the right to protest or to demonstrate peacefully. But there's some serious heavy-handedness of the police and the army right now in the streets. And some reports are saying most probably this whole week, Zimbabwe, the internet connection will be so poor. There's a lot of information that is just circulating, some factual, some unfactual. But the fact of the matter, we've got 121 people who've been arrested. For what apparent reason? No reason. If you look at the 79 Avondale guys, they're still in prison. But these guys were at a private party. It was a private function, but it's been reported they're planning some demonstrations. I don't know. Your likes of Jacob Garivume, Job Sikala. It seems like the government went through for everybody who is a potential activist, everybody who's got the potential or the power to call for demonstration, There is always a saying in the Shona culture that it says like this. I'll say it in Shona and I'll try and translate it into English, okay? So, ukafarisa mienzo yako mba kwenyu. Mienzi paninda, just one, and your mother, amayo akosha dilaniwe. Anditi. Potse amayo kono dilaniwe mienzo chari kufuti. So this translation says, if a visitor comes to your house, right, and you become mischievous whilst the visitor's around, when the visitor's gone, your parents would definitely deal with you. But they can actually deal with you when the visitor's actually present, because you're thinking if the visitor's around, nothing will happen to you. So that is what is this whole issue is being translated to. It's a sad scenario where up to today we can still have political prisoners, because the over 121 activists were behind bars. To me, they're literally political prisoners. And I'll tell you, after this whole SADC summit, most of them are going to start getting bail, are going to start getting acquitted. Watch this space. Then you come back and you ask me, DJ Nyamza, we guess you're right. It's sad when the Constitution says this, but people decide to do what they want to do. I've seen some reports saying it seems like, I don't know, issue of human rights are very difficult to address, and human rights violation up to today is still happening, and we wonder, as a nation, as a country, as Zimbabwe, where are we going to? Where to from here? Remember, it takes a nation to build one great nation, as Lucky Dube says. So the nation has to be built, and has to be built by great people. But if the great people do not have the voices, that's definitely what we call oppression. So we're going to be monitoring all the events that are happening in Zimbabwe this week, and we'll try and keep you to tabs on what exactly is happening. So please just do be careful, take care of yourself, be safe. I was telling most of the people that I know in Zimbabwe this week, if you don't have an agenda, Just for your safety, stay at home, because trust me, anything can happen. You never know. Anyway, let's give you some great music. We get through. We then talk about what's happening or what happened in Rwanda. On the Vault on the Sunday with DJ Nyams until past. Then we get to the old school in the final hour. Good afternoon. It's a Sunday.
Sundays on Galaxy Radio.
Portanto, já não restam muitas mais palavras para dizer. O meu amor por ti é sério, não tem explicação. Não preciso e nem tenho de me acostumar a não te ver. Eu não quero ter saudades tuas, eu nem quero aprender. Então vem e faz-me ser mulher. Eu não sou pra mais ninguém, somos água viva. Então vem pra provarmos que esse amor não tem que ser o maior, só pra nossa vida. Pode ser uma ilusão, quem sabe estamos juntos hoje, amanhã não. Não sei dizer, será que o destino nos uniu? Ou será que tu foste feito pra outra mulher? Não sei dizer, só sei que eu te amo. Eu te quero, pode ser ou não. Eu te amo. Pode ser ou não. Eu te amo. Portanto, já não restam muitas mais palavras para dizer. O meu amor por ti é sério, não tem explicação. Não preciso e eu nem quero me acostumar a não te ver. Não quero ter saudades tuas. Então vem e faz-me ser mulher. Eu não sou pra mais ninguém, somos água viva. Então vem pra provarmos que esse amor não tem que ser o maior, só pra nossa vida. Pode ser uma ilusão, quem sabe estamos juntos hoje, amanhã não. Eu não sei dizer, será que o destino nos uniu? Ou será que tu foste feito pra outra mulher? Não sei dizer, só sei que eu te amo. Eu te quero, pode ser ou não. Eu te amo, eu te amo. Só sei dizer.
It's 1526 on Great Station. So let's look at some other news happening in the continent of Africa. So Rwanda, in a move to improve the healthcare, they've purchased additional 114 ambulances just this month, adding to the 80 ambulances they purchased in June. In a move to improve the healthcare services in Rwanda. That's an amazing move, yeah? Healthcare is very important to everybody, to humanity. When everybody's got access to health, it becomes a better place, a better continent. We can also look at the participation of Africa, the Olympics, which are ending today. Yeah, I don't know what exactly we can look at, what we can say, but always on the medals table, most African countries are always the ones at the bottom. So Africa needs to improve in terms of athletes, right? Is it the conditioning? Is it the coaching? Is it the infrastructure that these guys train on? Is it the mental? Is it the psychological? Is it the financial support? But I think Africa as a whole just needs to invest in the athletes so that in such international competitions they can have more medals, more positive medals in the medal table. I think Africa's got great artists, great men and women of Africa. But we congratulate all the artists, all the athletes who've managed to get gold, bronze, and silver, and even all the other athletes who just participated in the games. I don't know why I want to say artist, but it's athletes. Yeah. You know what happens when you're a DJ? I used to sing artist, but these ones are athletes. Yeah. So I just want to congratulate all the athletes that participated in the Olympics and all the other athletes from around the world who participated in the Olympics, who made the Olympics great games. I always believe sports and music bring the whole world together. If you want the whole world to come together, just put music and bring sport. The whole world comes together. They forget about all their differences. In some other international news, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, it seems like the two have agreed to hold 3 debates before the 4th of November presidential election. So let's see how that will happen. Do the presidential debates have any impact towards where the votes will go to? Guess so. Who do I think will win between the two? Yeah, it's a tight call. If anything, I think Kamala Harris might win it, but it won't be a huge margin. To be maybe with about 3 or 5%, and she'll just snatch it. Yeah, because she seems to be her strategy in the game seems to be working. Donald Trump seems to be getting frustrated. Anyway, it's 15:30. I'll drop this one. It's 15:30 and we get straight into the old school. So between now and 4 p.m. we're going to be giving you some old school in a great station. This is Galaxy Radio for DJ Nyamza. It's a great good afternoon.